The other day, I had to catch a taxi in Morocco. I didn't speak the language and I had no idea what to expect. Because I was staying in a riad, which is like a hotel that looked like this, just outside the walls of Medina, which is an old city which was built in the 8th century and has been this bustling center of commerce for the last 1,300 years. You can buy pretty much everything you want within the Medina, except for things from the Western world. For that, I had to go to a grocery store, which is about 5 minutes away. So I walked down the road to the taxi circle, I found one, and I speak Spanish, but in this area of Morocco, people only spoke French or Arabic. So I said, okay, Carrefour, like the name of the grocery store. The guy nodded, yeah, I got in the taxi and we took off. Let me tell you, when you drive in Morocco, lines are optional, stopping is optional. You might have 5 cars lined up, you might have 1 car. It's just the most chaotic thing I've ever seen, but somehow they managed to make it smooth, and I saw no accidents the whole time I was there, despite it seeming absolutely insane. So we get to the grocery store, and I don't want him to take off, so I said, oh, attendez-vous, can you wait? And he says, yeah. So I get out of the cab, I start walking across the street, and he just yells, waves his hand, and just drives off. I'm like, well, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. Now, the grocery store was inside a mall, so I'm looking around. I can't find it anywhere. Finally, somebody nicely told me that it was downstairs. Find the escalator. I go downstairs. I'm looking through. It's not just a grocery store. It's like a Walmart. It has everything. It has clothes and washing machines and food and drink and pretty much anything you can think of. I find the stuff I need. I walk outside, and there's a line of 50 cabs on this side and 50 on the other. Because in Morocco, you have these petite taxi that are like the small taxi, and they all look the same or the same color. So I go from cab to cab trying to find the guy because I want to make sure I pay him because I didn't pay him for the trip there. Finally find him. I'm not entirely sure. I go same. And he goes, oh, Bata, which is where I came from, Bata Square. He says, yeah, okay. So I get in, we drive back, and he gets ready to drop me off. And I don't know how much to pay him because we haven't talked about this. So I hand him 20 dirham, which is about $2, but it's a pretty significant amount for a cab. And he starts throwing his arms up and kind of yelling, complaining. And I look down and he had actually been running the meter, which I wasn't sure because a lot of times they won't run the meter and then they'll just come up with some random price. But it turns out I'd gone just over 20 dirhams because I had taken so long inside. So I reach in my pocket, I find a 5 dirham quarter or coin, hand it to him. He says, oh, shukran. I get out and I walk. But let me tell you, the entire time, I wasn't sure if I was going to get there. I wasn't sure how I was going to get back. But it's so important to do things like that. Do things that feel uncomfortable. Do things that feel kind of scary, but not in a way that's actually dangerous. Like, nothing's going to happen to me. Like, what, I'm going to pay a few extra dirham? Even if I give him a whole extra 100 dirham, I give him $10. Like, oh no, that isn't going to change my life. And I'm trying to remember that growth is just outside of our comfort zone. It's right on that edge. So if I was too comfortable in just staying in a Hilton Inn and not doing anything and not talking to anybody, no. If I was just going to the Medina by myself and trying to negotiate big deals, probably not a good idea. But somewhere in the middle, like taking a taxi ride in a country where I don't speak the language, that was a pretty good balance.